Burdick.
Yes.
Next item is pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Little piece of fun in there. Half the days appropriate meeting notice.
Meeting was noticed on Friday, February 4th. Agendas were posted at the post office, library, city hall, and city website.
Thank you. Council acceptance of the agenda.
Make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Personal appearances for non-agenda items. Okay, nobody's joining us for that. I'm not there for that. Let's go to the minutes from January 17th.
Motion approved.
Second.
Any corrections or additions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And now the minutes from January 27th, special council meeting.
Motion approved.
I'll second.
Any corrections or additions on that one? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item is public discussion regarding USDA rural development funding for South Main Street. Did they need to be here for this, or?
No, someone from rural development thought they might participate remotely, but I see they're not here, but it isn't a requirement that they're here.
Okay, so let's have you do the background on this.
All right, so many of you know what we've done on South Main, but as part of the loan and grant that we have been awarded for the project, we have an opportunity for the public to comment on the financing. So the background of the project is the sewer portion of the South Main Utility Reconstruction Project is being partially funded by a USDA Rural Development Loan and Grant. The Rural Development Program requires that the city hold a public meeting to allow residents to learn about the funding and about the project. The Rural Development Program will provide $405,000 in a low-interest loan. The interest rate has been established now at 1.75%. And they will also provide $219,000 in grant funding. The loan will be repaid on a 40-year amortization schedule. There is no prepayment penalty. The Utility Commission usually looks at the repayment schedule on those loans to see if there is an advantage to paying them off ever. The total estimated cost for the sewer portion of the project is $880,000. The project included the replacement of sewer and water mains and partial replacement of service laterals. The project extended from Lord Street to approximately Hayne Road and replaced 2,720 feet of sewer main.
Thank you. And now, is there anyone in the public that wishes to speak on this item at all? And for the record, no one stepped up to speak on this. Is there anything else we need to do to cover that for?
No, this is an opportunity. We had a notice in the paper for this, if you may have seen, so this is we want to make sure that the public has an opportunity to talk about this financing, so I think we've covered it.
All right, thank you. And we'll move on to the committee reports, and Candy with Finance.
Okay, finance met this evening at 6:30. Motion to approve bills and payroll in the amount of $205,341.54.
Second.
Any questions on the bills? Hearing none, roll call.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Burdick.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to approve amendment to the City of Edgerton Resolution 24-21B, 2022 salary resolution.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to approve adoption of City of Edgerton Resolution 02-22, approving budget transfers and amendments for the year ending December 31st, 2021.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to approve adoption of City of Edgerton Resolution 03-22, authorizing the 2021 property tax equivalent charged to the water utility.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to approve adoption of City of Edgerton Resolution 04-22, approving the assigned fund balance for the year ending December 31st, 2021.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, all of these ED and facade grants that we'll go through have been approved this evening at the RDA and recommending council approval. In addition, that the work for each of these grants would be completed within 1 year. So I'm making a blanket statement so I don't have to repeat it for each one of these. Motion to approve supersized ED grant application for 6 West Fulton Street in the amount of $5,370.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to approve supersized facade grant for roof at 115 Henry Street in the amount of $10,000.
Second.
Any discussion? Do you need the 1 year project completed in each motion, or since that was covered at the start? or-
I think she made it clear that it would be included in each.
I assume that that's comfortable with every second, but yes, I think that's sufficient.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
He's trying to be efficient.
I don't- Just want to make sure we're doing it right.
Whatever time you save.
So much for saying.
That's a right along. Roll call.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Motion passes.
Let's see, motion to approve supersized facade grant for a second exit at 115 Henry Street in the amount of $10,000 with approval of the Historic Commission.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, motion to approve supersized ED grant for HVAC at 110 Henry Street in the amount of $6,000.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to approve supersized ED grant for plumbing at 110 Henry Street in the amount of $5,600.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Shaw, Paul Davis,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to approve supersized facade grant for a roof at 110 Henry Street in the amount of $10,000.
Second.
Any discussion?
I don't know if you wanted, if we needed to notate also the historic approval for that, I don't know.
There wasn't one on that. if I recall.
That's the roof, right? So I
That's
guess
the
that
roof.
would be done. Yeah,
Correct.
sorry, I got ahead of myself.
Sure.
The others, because they're doors and
Yep.
windows, yeah.
Okay, anyone else? Roll call.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to approve supersized facade grant for doors at 110 Henry Street in the amount of $8,459.50 with the approval of the Historic Commission.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to approve supersized facade grant for windows at 110 Henry Street in the amount of $10,000 with the approval of the Historic Commission.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to approve supersized ED grant for flooring at 110 Henry Street in the amount of $6,000.
Second.
Any discussion? One comment, the TIF is in good shape, so these funds are available to cover these projects, so.
That's good to know.
I heard you ask that earlier,
And more, so let's take advantage of it here before the TIF.
Very last one you bring that up.
Yeah. But I can't repeat what.
Well, as long as they're done within a year. Okay, anyone else? Roll call.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
or Burdick, sorry. Wrong name.
Doesn't matter? Oh, okay, yes.
Okay, I think that passed.
Couple.
Motion passed.
Okay, motion to award the low bid for East Fulton Street retaining wall replacement project in the amount of $159,170 to JB Johnson LLC.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I have just one question about it. Will it shut down traffic doing this? Or, I mean,
I don't think it's gonna shut down traffic. It will probably eliminate the on-street parking during the project, but we're not anticipating eastbound traffic or westbound traffic to be completely stopped. No. They may have to shift over a bit, but
all right.
So I know we did talk earlier about possibly when it would be done. Do you know how long it's gonna take, the time frame?
I
A
don't,
week,
I mean,
2 weeks, month?
I wouldn't guess that it would take a month, but, no, I don't.
Okay.
I don't know exactly how long it'll take. I would think that they're gonna wait till they have all the material and everything in hand before they get started, obviously. So, they're gonna wanna get on and off that street as fast as possible.
Again, I just, quick question, I know specs are specs when these guys bid things and everything, but
Yeah.
the wall, the wall itself, the blocks, just from the top bid, did the last guy understand what we're looking for blocks?
I couldn't tell you.
He's charging 2.5 times a block than what we're paying, I mean. what
I'm
was
not
he putting
sure,
out?
I'm not sure where he was getting his block, but, the specs were pretty clear.
Okay, and speaking of traffic control or whatnot, I mean, the one guy's charging $50,000 more than the other guy for traffic control, what is,
I noticed that too.
I mean, what is he doing
One
the
was
work?
$59,000.
Yeah, I don't know, that's, specs are specs, but I just think some of these guys could not have understood what we're looking for, but we done good, I think we done good, so.
Yeah, as long as they're all bidding on the same thing.
I get it,
What
yeah.
numbers they come up with are theirs. I don't know how to do it.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, motion to approve motion to trade in the 2006 front-end loader and purchase a 2022 loader from Miller Bradford and Reesburg Inc. for $139,500, which, by the way, is under what we budgeted for.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Motion passes.
And that's it for finance.
That's good. You spent enough tonight.
Yeah, well, did my best.
Utility Commission.
Yes. I want to say it again, please go.
Okay, make a motion to approve the second reading of adopting a City of Edgerton Ordinance 22-01, amend Chapter 12, Section 12.154J, swimming pool fills, and Section 12.0155, policy for leakage adjustments to water and sewer customers of the Code of General Ordinances.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Motion passes. That it for utilities then?
Basically, yeah.
You wanna do planning then next?
Sure. Planning met back on January 24th, brief discussion, a little bit of discussion about the Nushi project out there, but there's more coming here to the council for that. But I would like to make a motion to approve extraterritorial land division to create Newville Trail subdivision having 62 lots and 4 outlots in Section 1 of the town of Fulton on Hillside Road and Jason Drive for Petrie.
Second.
Any discussion?
What is for Pete? Can you explain that last two words? And Jason Drive for Petrie.
It's the developer's name.
Petrie, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Unclear, yes.
Anyone else? Roll call.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Motion passes. That's about it for planning, wasn't it? Yeah. Fire district.
The district has we have a regular monthly board meeting this Wednesday at 5 o'clock. Chief is here to report on specifics from the department and the district.
And
Which he handed
Paul,
out.
did I skip you, or do you have one of these?
I don't have one.
All of a sudden, I realized I think I skipped a chair.
Thank you.
Only one Davis at a time.
Yeah, really, it's a budget saving issue. So you have the report. It was a little bit more normal of a month, a little bit saner than what we've been experiencing in 2021. Way over on the right side, you kind of see we break out the number of days where we have multiple calls, and so we had several days with 4, 5, and 6 calls, and then we did have an 8-call day as well, and we've already had one 8-call day in February so far. And then the other thing that we're starting to do is break out by municipality, so each of the municipalities can kind of get a feel for the percentage of the calls within their particular jurisdiction. 2 other things I wanted to point out from a personnel standpoint. Deputy Chief Russ did leave and take his new position up in Manitowoc, and we certainly wish him well. It's a career kind of thing for him that he really, really wanted to pursue, but as Jim and Candy will point out, he struggled with that decision because he also didn't want to leave. So, but I think it'll be really kind of cool. We'll hopefully watch how he grows and develops up there. But then the really good news, Division Chief Brandon Whitmore has been promoted into Jason's position. Great continuity, obviously, because Brandon's right there, didn't miss a beat. And it's also a really, really cool developmental opportunity. We've been investing a lot in Brandon's development, leadership development, that kind of thing over the last few years. So it's kind of cool to see him get a chance to step into that position. The other thing, which is not on here, but maybe two things. We did have one very substantial fire out in the town of Porter. Way out in the town of Porter, so our response statistics for the year are already blown, because we're nowhere near the NFPA guidelines on that one. It was out at the former WTG Farms, Agricol, and it is believed, based on preliminary investigation, that fire may have burned for over an hour before it was ever detected. So total loss, pretty substantial loss. And then the last thing, which isn't on here, is where we are with the petition from Milton, Lionel, Harmony, Johnstown, Koshkon, don't want to forget anybody. They did formally, the chief executive officers from each of those municipalities did come in at the January meeting and formally presented their petition to the district board. The board has already met twice and has a third meeting scheduled, where they're breaking down each individual clause and looking at it, trying to dig into what does it mean, what are they asking, all kind of leading towards an assessment of whether or not, number one, we can provide quality service to what they're asking us to provide, and more importantly, obviously, to all of you, without being detrimental to what we are doing currently today for our current municipalities. So that assessment is currently underway. Expected to take probably a good couple of months to dig into.
Thank you.
That's it for today.
Thank you. RDA. Just needs nice little bunch of stuff that we just took care of.
Well, can I bring those forward?
All need to be done within a year.
Yes.
There's one more thing we did at the end. In addition to all the grants, we voted to create an economic development fund to do grants similar to the SOD grants. The details of which, though, we'll determine at a later meeting. We just voted to proceed with looking at developing that fund. And this would be to do expenditures after the TIF ends in May.
Thank you. Next item is consider appointment of city clerk.
I would love to make a motion to appoint Wendy Loveland, Edgerton City Clerk, effective February 14th, 2022.
Second.
Did you get a second? Got a couple
I
of
got
them
a
here.
couple of
Okay.
I'll second it.
That's encouraging for the vote to get all the seconds. Any discussion?
Excited. I'm excited for you, Wendy.
I'm excited.
I'm excited for us. If Cindy has to leave, then I guess I'm excited.
And we'll get a little trial run on how it's gonna work next Tuesday, so. Okay, no further discussion. Roll call.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you. Looking forward to working with you.
Get used to us.
Welcome to the team.
Even though you already are. Tonight didn't scare you anymore.
Okay, the next item is to consider Edgerton Limited English Proficiency Language Access Plan, and then to teach me how to say that.
Background? Very brief background on page 8. The plan is in your packet also. It is a part of, we have a similar plan you may recall with our shared ride taxi. This is federal funding, so whenever there's federal funding, there are rules such as these that we make sure we provide service to residents or customers who have limited English skills. So the plan is there for the staff as to how we should handle circumstances when we have a customer like that to ensure that those customers receive service.
Thank you. So we need a motion to approve it.
Make a motion to approve the Edgerton Limited English Proficiency Language Access Plan.
Any further discussion?
Who was the second?
Paul?
Thank you.
Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, the next thing is Mayor, Alderperson, and staff reports. We do have an election next Tuesday, the 15th. One item on the ballot for us here. And I'd like to thank Candy for covering for me at the last not the last council meeting, but the last regular council meeting when I took a vacation and was actually eating dinner at the time, so I didn't want to zoom in on it.
They behave.
That was all I have. Anyone else?
Well.
Yes, I got it.
Oh, okay. Let's start with the guy that's got the gun.
Yeah. So the chief invited me to come talk tonight about the Raise the Flag campaign, and I'm going to read off the piece of paper, so bear with me. The Edgerton Police Association, along with the Edgerton VFW Post 2708, kicked off the Raise the Flag campaign. It was started in order to raise donations to replace the flagpole at Racetrack Park. And at this point, we received a little over $2,000, $1,000 of that coming from the Jim Plugger Endowment Fund, and another $1,000 from the Edgerton VFW Post and the Honor Guard. Our goal is to raise enough money to have the flag installed and dedicated by Flag Day, which is June 14th. And so it's about $4,000 to replace that flag up there. So we're about halfway there. Any donation of $250 or more will secure your name on a plaque that will be set on the base of the flag. So the purpose of this is to dedicate this new flagpole to all those that have served our country, state, and community to make it a safe place to live. The end. Any questions for me?
Yeah, can we ask questions or not?
If people want to donate, who do they go to, the department or?
Yep, and I don't think that's on here, but I think that if we call, yes, okay, here it is. You make a check out to the Edgerton Police Association and drop it off at the police department or city hall. Thank you.
Wondering if there's any type of advertisement or Facebook event or something that Chief has put together. Because I've only seen one thing on Facebook about that, and that was the Clouds donation. Wonder if we can't escalate that or take that out in the public a little bit more, and you would really get the.
And the reporter, I think, would be beneficial there.
Sam, that's all you.
He's writing. Okay. Get in his head.
Okay.
Okay.
The only other thing is, Chris, I think we'd like to offer a condolences again to your family. So the last time we did that, it was the passing of your mother, so we offered condolences on the passing of your father.
Thank you. It's been well, like I've said in a couple posts, it's been a shitty year. But, and as I've said in the past, recently even, that I was fortunate to have them till I was old enough to collect Medicare and Social Security, so some people don't get that, and we were fortunate. Thanks again. Jim?
Real quick, I don't know if we had this once before, I don't remember Crossing Guard Week, saw it in the paper. Congratulations and thank you to Candy and Red and everybody else, but we got one of our own on there, so congrats.
Wanted to add, I included in, I think you got it in your packets, the budget, not the budget, the work plan for the Edgerton Tourism Commission. We approved the budget and the work plan the last time we met, earlier this month. The big news coming out of there is we don't expend all of the dollars collected from the room tax to pay the professional entity. We hold back a portion of that, and the goal has been to have a separate grant program, basically like a startup fund for tourism activities. It's pretty typical when a municipality does this to have that kind of grant program as well. I expect we'll approve that application later this month when we meet, with an anticipated deadline for grant proposals to be April 1st, so they can budget accordingly for summer events. So that's in addition to the work of taking photos, building up a social media presence. We're about half a year into that process. The work plan is there for 22. The thing to note, the good flexibility is a lot of those projects there, like buying social media ads, and if for whatever reason room tax started to dry up, that budget is pretty flexible, that there are just things we would scale back on or not do later in the year, so we kind of work accordingly, but.
Out of curiosity, was there a bigger change since we had theoretically more people staying in hotels in 2021 as opposed to 2020?
As far as the.
Like the revenue that we generated?
Yeah, I don't know the increase, I mean, but like comparing apples to garbage, you know, if we're looking at 22's numbers, so, they have a pretty good handle on where they think.
Projection for what this month's summer
projection
might be?
Yeah, what we ever intended it to be, so.
When, in normal
In
circumstances?
normal circumstances, correct. So I wanted to provide that update because I haven't talked about that effort in a while, but that's where that's at.
Thank you. Anyone else? Otherwise, it's number 12.
Motion adjourned.
Second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 5-1.